This is the Benjamin Zulu Global. Welcome our viewers from all over the world to the home of the Heart Matters. We're converging to learn together because when you know better, you can do better. And a better life is what we all want. Better work life, better family life, better personal life.
Hello guys, my name is Bramwell Opio. Now ladies, have you ever wondered what you need to look out for you to tell whether a man loves you? So today we're talking about if a man loves you, what is he going to do?
So Bramwell, men love on many levels because of the abuse of the word love.
Yeah.
So the lowest level is appreciating a good woman. So sometimes they appreciate you. If you are so hungry for love, you can think because he's appreciating you, now he loves you.
Yeah.
And you start falling in love back and you fall alone. I have people who tell you they were betrayed. They were not betrayed.
Yes.
They fell in love on mere courtesy.
Yeah.
You know, and if your life is so dry, you do not have a father figure. And we said, if you grew up in an incomplete home, where you do not have emotional and physical presence of your parents, those two presences, please, you have a deficit. That deficit is quiet while you are busy minding your life until you try to date and you make such staggering mistakes that precipitate pain and chaos in your life. Don't wait. You grew up without a dad, or he was there but stunned, physically present, emotionally distant. You grew up with a mother who saw you as a beast of burden to lift the weight for the family, who was not supportive. If you do not grow up with the physical presence of both the parents and emotional presence of both the parents, you need therapy. And that leaves how many of us out? You can do your census. But almost 9 out of 10, most of us, we need therapy to fill the gap. Yeah. Why do you need therapy if your father was not present? If your father was in Mombasa and sending money and appearing once in Blue Moon? If your mother was disciplinarian and strict and distant, if they were present but they did not have a relationship with you guys, why do you need, so that you can know what that means, that you acquire a person who can be emotionally and physically present, although you did not experience it, you learn it to know what it looks like, to ask for it for your children and for yourself.
Exactly.
Let's repeat. If you're going to procure what you don't know, you need help to know what it looks like.
Yeah.
Most people, when they're purchasing the first thing, first house, first plot, they are sober enough to consult an expert or to do a lot of research to educate themselves. Many people know that every industry has unknowns. Okay?
Yeah.
Counterfeits versus the real. Many people don't. They know there's something they don't know. Bramwell, one thing I want you to learn from Plato is to say, is it Plato, Socrates, one of the philosophers, I'm the wisest man on earth because I know one thing, and that is I know nothing. Whenever you come to the new frontier, remind yourself, I know nothing.
Yeah.
That humbles you to seek information. And it's very exciting thing to purchase a car. I was purchasing one, I was almost paying a meeting, but because I have this habit of reminding myself, maybe there's something I can't see, I get a friend who's an expert, and he disqualifies the car before even the way it is running, the engine from far. My brother, that sound, which sound do I compare it with? I've never heard this.
Yeah.
Do you see the naivety? Say, no, that's too loud for this kind of car. My brother, that's like a Porsche Miro. You know? Yeah. I needed to know the normal sound from inside. You know, you see cars on the road, but yes, if you are the one controlling it, this the feedback is supposed to give you, and he holds it saying, no, you don't need details. This is a salvage. Then he proceeds to show me other defects, like opening the door, closing gently. He proceeded to show me other things that were not okay. And for me, I was excited. New things are exciting. That excitement can blind you.
Yeah.
Please, just educate yourself that because relationships are new, love is new, the excitement, it can be so confusing that you can't tell that because you came from so much lack of love, lack of attention from parents, lack of validation. You never heard somebody say they not heard the word sweetheart. Their parents were not using any endearing language. The first time anybody called her any endearing word, although she was so young, she was swept away. How do you explain that? You grew up in a home that was just cold, stern, distant. The first time you taste anything that tastes like validation, love, attraction, romance, you lose yourself.
Yeah.
We said marriages from people who came from dysfunctional other marriages don't work. The first marriage won't work.
Yeah.
Because you did guesswork when you did not know who you are. And marriage from people who get in before they know who they are never work. Because they got in without aligning with who they were, because they did not know who they were.
Yeah.
You used to think knowing yourself is a luxury, isn't it? It was not presented like a mandatory requirement.
Exactly.
Seems like something you can engage in, philosophical. I've tried to know myself. No, but I know my name. Now we know in order to choose a person with whom you align in thinking, align in goals, align in money manners, how you spend money, align in the values you teach children, the places you go for worship, the places you go when problems come, how you respond when diseases come, the faithfulness they have when they are out of sight, and how they treat the opposite sex, how they put boundaries in relationship, how they respect this union. To find a person whom you align around that. There are many other building blocks. This is not the first one. You don't start by looking for love.
Yeah.
You start by building blocks for who you are, so that your radar can now pick who are we aligning. You program yourself to check whom you match in programming, in lifestyle, in vibe, in energy, by becoming very accustomed with who you are. So why then do we talk what a man does when he loves you? And please, we are not making men demigods, that when he loves you, he will see the following, you should pay attention to it. Please, no. We are saying we are looking for signs to know whether he sincerely loves you or he's just appreciating you. And you are so deprived that you think appreciation is romance. Yeah. The second thing is respect. Men appreciate, respect, and then love. Men don't use the word love a lot. Even among themselves, they don't use that word. They use respect.
Yes.
So men respect. By the time the man loves, he has been conquered. So today we are discussing what conquers men. Samson said, "Get her for me, I love her." And Solomon was conquered by foreign, strange, the wrong, misaligned women. And his life was misaligned.
Yeah.
Follow the formula. When you are conquered by misaligned women, all of your life will be
misaligned.
Yes. Yeah. He had values he was to live for, certain kinds of honor, loyalty to a deity. But he married women who are not loyal to that deity. And he got scattered. And the end is tragic when you follow love that is not aligned with your life. And he says, to these ones he clung in love. You can love the wrong places and God is not there.
Yeah.
We have been meant to think love is divine. If you love someone, it means it was meant to be. Solomon loved many women who are not meant to be.
Yeah.
You have a very classical example, and he was the wisest man. Be careful with your wisdom. He was very rich. Be careful with your riches. Very famous. Careful with your fame.
Yeah.
He had everything. And after he failed in all his missions, he wrote a record to warn you called the Book of Ecclesiastes. When you feel madness coming up, there are some books you should be reading. One of them is Ecclesiastes. When you feel like you want to experiment with pleasure, because he experimented. He said, I gave myself to see whether what is this? And he said, vanity of vanities. Anytime you orient, and I was telling you my disturbance with the Western conversations. You know, you watch the American talk shows about relationships. Why do they use cursing language so much? You keep hearing beeping the computer because of curses. Why do they curse so much? And so they discuss relationships in absence, in complete contemptuous ignorance of God and the person who placed them here. They make each other God. Be careful. You can make your love, your lover, your idol, as if that's what you live for. And your conversations are surrounding there only, leaving out the backdrop of this is one of the things I'm doing, trying to fulfill the higher reason why I'm here on earth. This person did not create you, did not create them, you met here and you said until death. You will part at some point.
Yeah.
You are born apart, after you die, you are apart.
Yeah.
So what is the larger question of your life? Today we are discussing love, but I want you to know that there's another life, there's another reason, there's another mission. You're supposed to refer to you, Solomon, before you cling to anyone in love. And you can love and still say no, because it does not align with the life I'm meant to live here. And it is almost insubordination and insult to run after romance before you find your mission. It feels good, exciting, but it will have no grace. You put it in front of the one who placed you here.
Yeah.
Your first question is, why on earth am I here? A guy who wrote a book called Purpose Driven Life. It's why on earth am I here? That should be your first question. Not, who on earth am I here to love? Love is not your religion. Love is an icing, it's a lubricant, it's a means for a greater end. Many did not get in relationship, and they did not marry, and they fulfilled their purpose gloriously. Don't worship marriage, don't worship love. Don't sacrifice your faith to remain married. Don't change your church, don't change your religion because of the person you're marrying.
Yeah.
Those things are greater than love. The reason you are here and the purpose you're here to serve matter more. Love should be a courage. Marriage should be a courage. Courage of what? The life's mission. Brother, we are discussing love, but I don't want you to think, oh, it's a, you know, I feel like throwing up when I see prominent people are so famous globally, and their conversations, all of it, they don't remind people that this is not the whole of your life. Okay, you don't have to be a teacher or everything, but you should keep reminding people of context. A good teacher keeps telling you this topic relates to another one. You should have covered the other one. Preliminaries. Love is not everything. Romantic love is not everything. There's another one you're supposed to love with all your heart, your soul, and your strength. It's another person. 30:20 of Deuteronomy, that you're supposed to cling to him in love. Don't do what Solomon did. He clung to foreign women. Cling to your maker, to your God. If you cling to that one, other loves will match. And it's unfortunate when we make each other the focus. One reason some marriages don't work, remember I told you, they are replacing someone else. Be careful that you don't nominate. You know, otherwise you cause some guys to lose. One guy joined a ship and he made them lose all their courage. They went through trauma, they were sinking, and they figured out somebody here is not aligned with their God. And they had to throw him away, and they got peace. If you marry Jonah,
you are in trouble.
And so today we are discussing what a man does when he truly loves you. And we said the first thing you need to know is that when a man loves you, it's not the words. Please, the average good girl is hearing the word love every day. You should not think you have moved a mountain by telling her you love her. Are we together? Unfortunately, the idle men who are sending love all day long are too many.
Yeah.
If she's at all a decent woman, and she's visible, she's alive, she has her phone, she's online, her inbox is full of it. Somebody said, these men who keep telling ladies, she was answering us, some men who keep telling her, if you don't do this, you remain single forever. Do this, you remain single. Saying, when will men know that there is this thing for women to get is a man? And the contrast he drew is very intriguing. Saying, for women, what disturbs us is money, not men. That's a harder thing. If you see me excited on my phone, most likely it's a deal that is going through. It's not a man who has texted, I love you. Something to do with money, or my child, or a girlfriend. So she was saying, stop thinking that that's what we fantasize the whole day. In the meantime, the hardest thing for most men to get is a woman. When you see a guy excited on his phone, most likely one has entered the box. Okay, not universal, but she was giving a contrast. Saying, I would travel very far to look for money. I will not travel that far to look for a man. Saying any woman of substance has many suitors. She said the harder men to get are not just men to sleep with.
Yeah.
It's a man who can add value. So today we are discussing a man who is worth. When he falls in love, you see, number one, he cleans up his life. There's no greater motivator for men to stop drinking, stop partying all night, stop running around, stop than finding the woman who introduces another world. Brahma, I don't want you to fall in love somehow. And you're telling me, yeah, I found a good guy. If you talk like that, I will not believe it. I will know you're settling, you're compromising. When you find the right woman, she takes you to another energy level. A conversation with her leaves you in another existence. She inspires you to another perspective. To believe yourself more, dream more, be creative more, drive more, ask for more, strive, laugh, relax. The right woman is a whole world game changer. When you say the right woman, you mean a woman who has made peace with money. Who is not tortured by the fear of poverty, fear of lacking this, and is restless. Be careful with people who came from lack. Even when they have a lot, they may never rest.
Exactly.
They need to negotiate their fear until they come to peace and to a pace. They make peace with their life and they adopt a pace that is peaceful. But if she must keep running, at what point will you have a life? She's always running. She has another enemy. The same way you said you don't marry a person who is addicted to anything. Because they don't have their life, they're a victim of something else. When a man falls sincerely in love, at once, without too much debating anymore, the reason men maintain their exes, keep chatting their exes, keep staying out at night with their boys, forgetting their work, calling, losing track of the other, they don't respect you, they don't love you, they don't see you that way. You're just a convenience. When a man finds a woman who he can't afford to lose, he reforms his life. We're not saying that you need a man who is damaged and then, sometimes they can change temporarily to get you in. So we're not talking about curated behavior, customized for you to impress you. No. We're saying before he even wins you, before you even agree to be anything in his life, yes, he has a character, he has a journey. But because he was searching, he had many tabs open. Flirting here, sometimes staying late over there. When you're single, your programs are not too dictated. They're dictated by career. And if there's no job tomorrow, you can as well stay late tonight with who? With this boy over there. But when a man finds that woman, he organizes his life because he picks a vibe of the kind of order she wants. Men can cross mountains and go very far to win the woman they want. Emotionally, on a personal level, they can clean up their life. Again, when you say clean up, we don't mean you come to a damaged, lazy, dysfunctional man, and now you think because of you he will change. We are saying a man who already has a character, has direction, but there are things that were lingering, that were just not brushed up. It's like a house that is already well built, but it was dirty, not painted here, not painted there. A person, they will clean up the house of their life because of your inspiration and without you having to nag. If you see a man who's still the dirtiness of still calling up other girls, still flirting, still no respect. A man who respects you, not as far as use the word love, as far as use another one, call another one babe, sweetheart, or those special language to another woman when he has fallen in love with you and he holds you in high regard. No, never. And when his boys asks, man, I can't afford to joke with what I have with Lydia. No. you will hear him say, man, no. And you guys can be talking nonsense, those things of boys, because maybe you have not yet crossed over. Nehemiah's, no. A man who has genuinely fallen in love, he genuinely transforms. That is the difference. The second thing you see with a man who has genuinely fallen in love and is not acting is that he immediately becomes vulnerable. Again, for a man to undress and show you the thoughts of his heart, that's the deepest level of exposure a man can do. The deepest level of exposure of a man is not opening his trousers. He's opening his heart. To tell you the secret to his strength, Samson, to tell you the covenants he lives by, the plans he has, the money he's working on. Okay, there are men who have no secrets, they blurt out everything. Usually they have nothing to tell. Because in order to build a life, you have to have a level of privacy. It's like building treasure. You can't build it without a fence. The moment you're building anything delicate, you start by fencing, protecting it. So men who have built anything, who are going anywhere, have a protective fence of privacy. When he lets you to the Holy of Holies, to the inside of those plans, what does it mean? He now trusts you. He wants to hear your input in sincerity. You know a man has loved you when he is open to you. If you have to nag, please talk to me. How come you don't tell me your life? How come? You're not the one. Remember, a man can have sex with you, entertain you, flirt with you because you're available. Not because you are respectable, not because he wants you for life. A man wants you for life, you see a different vibe. He's suddenly cautious. He can never use vulgar, derogative language on you. He does not even use it on anyone. Remember we said, you don't marry a person who has the capacity to be rude or to be rough. The other person is a gentleman. There's a time the situation will be rough. Triggering. Even when he's triggered, he can insult waiters, conductors. What if the day you trigger him yourself? If you are trying to do life, many things will happen there. Frustrations. If he can blow up, tantrum, things, and lose himself. One guy saw that psychotic anger episode with a lady in a mall when the wedding was already in 1 month. They were purchasing things for the Rora show for the cultural part, which was the next day. And she lost herself in temper tantrum because of a rise in price, very small rise in price.
Look at that.
And she lost herself, quarreled, cursed, and caused a scene. And he was wise enough to pull out. He said, no, I can't carry life with this. Wait, just wait. I don't know who was his advisor, but he was very wise. Sometimes when things have picked momentum, you stop them wisely. Say, let's postpone, let's hold. Postponement is easier to communicate. But it is an indefinite postponement. So we have postponed until Father
notice.
The Father notice may never come. When you say you have cancelled, it's alarming. When you say we have postponed, so when we'll communicate. A few people will be asking after a month or two, and they'll move on. That's what he did. And it's not to say, oh, are you not tolerating, are you not accommodating? What people have become by the time they are grown up, they are trying to marry, the deep fiber of their character is not changeable. Even if we are telling you, you see them organizing their life, we're not saying they're learning to be honest when they were lying. We're not saying they're learning to stop drinking when they were drinking themselves till they drop. We're not saying they're learning to stop sleeping around. Deep character issues cannot be worked in a day. It's a value the person needed to have adopted. If it's not a value, a principle, a conviction, they're only adjusting that behavior for your sake, and it's supervision. The deeper urge to do those things is very powerful. Cannot be stopped permanently because you came around. We're talking about a person who was preparing to become a wife, a husband. So today we are discussing, if this man truly loves you, he tells you what is going on in his life, what worries him. Again, don't expect a man to come and cry the way your girlfriends cry. This one happened. Men don't express stress like that. You learn his language of expressing, and you can sense the mood that this is a heavy thing on him. He will tell you what stresses him, what is going on. The third thing you see a man do when he sincerely loves you, when he wants you, is that he includes you in his future dreams. You hear him say, when me and you have this and that, We'll do the, and we're not saying the future faking of a narcissist. Narcissists can future fake. Narcissists, liars, manipulators. They put you in their life before you even agree to be in anything. Before you are anywhere, they're calling you my wife, my darling, the mother of my children. They rush the titles to love bomb and create an imagination. After calling you my wife, now they can call you, come in to come and sleep over, because now it's like you're supposed to role play. They just wanted to use you. But you're saying a sincere man, when the relationship has duly progressed to that point, they use the right endearing language for the stage the relationship is in. When they reach there, now they include you in their vision. This is what we are planning to do. This is what I'm seeing forward. This is what I'm perceiving. When you hear a man being that honest and sincere, you know it's a correct, it's a true and honest adjustment of his life to include you. And part of what we are saying is that unless you see a man picturing his dreams with you contributing and you in, many times you are out of it. Many times you're out of it. And the third thing is, which is very rare, this man will be willing to hurt other women to protect what you have with him. The boys, the unserious ones, the immature, the players will tell you, she's the one who comes after me. What do I do? I did not go after her. They'll give excuses to entertain other females. When a sincere man has fallen in love, you will even hear waves that nowadays he's not joking. Does not entertain. And he is firm. You'll catch him, not red-handed, but green-handed, doing the right things. You'll catch him having organized his life. You'll catch him putting boundaries. And you'll sense it in his life. He has found. The final thing about when a man has fallen in love with you is that you see him bring you to the people who matter in his life. All sincere men have teachers, mentors, authorities, people who have shaped them. All of them.
Yeah.
There's no great man who is a loner.
Yeah.
Let's put a caveat. A man who has been sincerely growing has networks that have supported him. But if he has no one, he's probably a serial killer.
Yeah.
Sincere men have deep Jonathan friendships.
Yes.
Have mentorship. Have people, networks who they know this person. And they would introduce you there like a joke. Those people know them.
Yeah.
But if a man, remember we said you want a man who upon getting married, he has social support, friendships, but he has the space to be the leader of his life. You don't want a person who is still a sycophant to a certain person who must confirm his decisions, including whether to marry you. He gets advice, but he makes his own decisions. You get the independence of mind that he protects the sanctity, the specialness of your union without exposing it unnecessarily. So if he takes you to the people who he does life with, if he introduces you to the people who know him truly, that man is serious. Yes.
And I like that, Benjamin. Now, the other aspect that ladies forget is that a man who loves you will always want to protect you come what may. Yes, but especially emotional protection.
That man will not allow other women to talk ill about you when he's hearing.
Yeah.
That man will not allow even his sisters to badmouth you, his mother to put you down. The first time that a man has gotten serious is when he gets protective of your heart, of your feelings. There before they would protect physically. Today we still protect physically, but the most injuries are emotional.
Yeah.
He will you build your house away from his mother just in case there's friction. He does not have friction. You will hear him arranging his life with you, with your safety in mind. When you voice some things, he takes them seriously. You don't need to nag and repeat.
Yeah.
You need a man who protects you from the girls around him, does not continue the indecent closeness with the female friends, does not continue exposing you to his relatives. He now creates something exclusive for the two of you.
And then when we talk about a man pouring a heart, that vulnerability, the vulnerability where a man can become naked emotionally in front of this lady, so that she can be able to tell that this guy is serious. You'd realize that again, some men will actually use that to their advantage again when they do what we call emotional dumping, to actually manipulate this woman so that she can be confused and in the process think that he's the right guy.
Yeah, many times what women don't realize and don't know is that men can also fake and act.
Yeah.
You know the real versus acting because of listening to your intuition, looking at small clues of sincerity, looking at the test of time, whether they remain consistent, whether they are willing to let go in case they don't get what they wanted, because liars must get what they wanted. They feel like they're wasting their effort because the reward is getting something from you, sex or money or something. A person who wants life is patient and they're willing to let go if it's not working. So listen to your intuition. Look at the small clues. Look at the consistency. Look at the vibe of allowing you to go if it's not working. Yes.
And for them to actually be able to tell between the legit guy and the counterfeit, at some point they need to have interacted with both. You need to have interacted with the counterfeit for you to know how the legit looks like.
Yes, you need to have known the markings of the true man.
True man, exactly.
Counterfeits are all over. Men who are lustful, indecent, impatient, presumptuous, they're all over. So you need to have learned the full traits of a sincere man. When counterfeit is so common, you need a lot of time to learn how the true thing performs. Otherwise, you'll end up stuck with a fake thing.
Exactly. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching the Benjamin Zulu Global. Till next time.
This is the Benjamin Zulu Global. Welcome our viewers from all over the world to the home of the Heart Matters. We're converging to learn together because when you know better, you can do better. And a better life is what we all want. Better work life, better family life, better